Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball figure news, doing a recap of everything that has dropped in the last 2 weeks. We actually don't have too much crazy stuff to go over today. However, there is some interesting stuff to go over. Like you see in the title, there is some information about Gohan Beast, so that is very exciting as well. Unfortunately, nothing that I can show you yet in terms of a picture of the figure, but we have some information, so stay tuned for that. We have a bunch of stuff to go over today. And starting us off, I'm shocked that I'm showing this again because I literally just showed this kind of as a gag thing at the end of the last video. It's just a funny way to end it. However, some of you in the comments section of the last video were asking for some more information on this, so I figured since dbzfigures.com posted a little bit more information about it, we'd cover it real quick to start off this video. I know this is ironic starting figure news with this thing, but you know, I gotta follow up, you know, I gotta do it for the boys. So this product just popped up on the official site. I think it would make more sense as a dog bed, but this is interesting as well. Costs about 30,000 yen, which is about $300, by the way. Again, that's not completely accurate because the yen to USD ratio is a lot, like, wackier than it usually is at the moment because of the currency exchange, but, like, kind of an estimate. Probably more like 250. And no word on pre-orders. If it comes, I will update. So, by the way, if you are curious where you can get this thing, let me see if I can actually pull it up. Premium Bandai JP, baby. Yeah, Premium Bandai JP is the place where you can have this. Unfortunately, it doesn't let me actually show you it because for some reason you can't access Premium Bandai JP like through the global side, which is really weird. It just takes you to the normal one, but that is where this product can be purchased. It is on Premium Bandai JP. So if you use some kind of third-party service, oops, I'm skipping ahead a little bit here. If you use some kind of third-party service, then you would be able to get it off of Premium Bandai JP. I'm sure somebody on eBay will also be selling it too, so you know, that is another option, although it will probably be upcharged as well. Okay, so for Dragon Ball news for the week of October 31st, we got a video covering basically all of the SDBH figures from the upcoming Ichiban KUJI set. I will actually be showing you the final images of these guys towards the end of the video because we have official tweets from the Ichiban KUJI Twitter account going over all of these. So very cool. It was nice that we got this little preview, and now we have some actual good like up-close images of them as well. Very exciting stuff, and this we'll also talk about again later in the video. But the Tamashii Nations Tokyo event 2022 will be a 3-day online and offline figure exhibition from Friday, November 18th to Sunday, November 20th. So that will be this coming week. That will be literally this weekend. They, in the past, created virtual rooms divided by theme to showcase current and new figures, so it'd be exciting to see if any new Dragon Ball figures will be showing up. There'll also be 2 offline events in Akihabara for those of you who are in Japan. So, this, a couple things. One, you probably remember us going through these virtual rooms, I believe it was last year, and we were looking at all the different figures, right? We could actually like walk through the virtual room, which was a really cool thing that they had. So if they have that again, I will absolutely do that for a video. But obviously, this is the event where Bandai teased that they are going to be showing off the Gohan Beast SH Figure Arts figure. So, hopefully, the soonest that we could possibly see our first Gohan Beast figure. It's going to depend on some other stuff that we'll talk about later in this video. But this weekend, so mark your calendar, we'll definitely be seeing the SH Figure Arts Gohan Beast this weekend. I'm very excited, bro. I'm already so hyped. Cracked out of my mind for Orange Piccolo already, so I can't wait to see how they did my boy Gohan Beast. On the Jump calendar release for 2022, just wanted to share this. This is basically everything that's coming out in the month of November. Obviously, we have the STBH Ichiban KUJI. You probably remember us talking about the Shen and Tien, that is the Dragon Ball Allies. They're kind of like the, I always call them the hype beast type of figures. We have the BOS Bardock, which I'm actually going to cop this, man. And the Clear Rise Gohan, which we'll actually get to see final images of these 2 Spoiler alert, they both turned out really good, which is very, very nice. We also have releasing this month, which I actually completely forgot about, the SH Figure Art Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So we'll actually get to see some in-person pictures of him very soon. That will be very, very nice to see when we eventually get that. He comes out later. He does not come out this month. I think he comes out in January for us. So we'll still have to wait a little bit unless you want to import him. High-grade Dragon Ball, the Piccolo Die Mouse set as well, and then the UDM the Burst 52, which is the SDVH one. Still low-key want to get the Warrior in black. And that is all for Dragon Ball, or for DBZFigures.com. I almost said DragonBallZFigures.com. Yeah, I guess that's not inaccurate. But DBZFigures.com, as always, check them out in the description. There is one more post from them later on, but it's because it's relevant to what we're going to take a look at. All right. So here are the correct colors and some high quality production images for the Android 16 GX Materia figure that we took a look at last time. If you remember me talking about with Majin Vegeta, which funny enough, literally in the next tweet he will be in there. They had some clean production images, but they didn't actually have the correct colors because when we looked at the original ones, they're a little bit more low quality. The actual colors were a little bit different, but these are the correct colors for the figures. These guys look really, really good. Obviously, everybody's pretty excited about your boy Majin Vegeta, and I can't blame you. I'm absolutely going to cop this figure. It is so cool. They definitely did a good job with these. It's so nice seeing the Solid Edgeworks line like actually be good because it was not great when it started, but they have absolutely stepped up their game. So that is very nice to see. Okay, we're jumping right into it, baby. So this is very exciting stuff. Here is the May calendar for the prize figure lineup. As you can see, we have official confirmation of our first Gohan Beast prize figure. As you can see right there, the DXF Son Gohan Beast. Very, very exciting. The only thing that is a little bit unfortunate is that this guy is probably going to be reused from the Ultimate Gohan and the Super Saiyan Gohan that we've talked about many, many times on this channel, right? The original figures basically from the superhero movie. They're probably just going to reuse that as a base, but at this point, bro, I just want something. We're also going to be getting the Matchmaker's Frieza and Matchmaker's Goku. That's going to be interesting to see what they pick from that, because they have done Matchmaker's figures, I believe, of Goku and Frieza before, if memory serves, unless I'm thinking of Tag Fighters, which I also may be. But nonetheless, they have done dual figures of Goku and Frieza before, so it'll be interesting to see what they pick. Maybe they'll do something from Dragon Ball Super. It would be cool to see the blue Goku and golden Frieza when they first fight and they like punch each other, right? I think that would be super sick. As you can see, this is also pretty wild. The Gigantic series is going to be getting a Gohan Beast figure. If you're unfamiliar with the Gigantic series, funny enough, we're going to take a look at a figure that they also announced this week too. But it's basically what used to be those sort of vinyl figures, and lately they've been making them out of PVC. We've seen 17 lately, UI Omen Goku, all kinds of stuff. This is a figure from the Gigantic series, right? This is the old Vegito figure. So that is pretty exciting. And then I have no idea what the Dragon Ball Z Yura Head 3 is. Let me know in the comments. I got no idea, to be honest with you. So that's May. And then for June, we have the Dragon Ball Z Galactic Barely. I'm not exactly sure what that is, to be honest with you. Maybe that's some other kind of like prize that's not a figure. Maybe that's supposed to be Broly. I'm not exactly sure on that one. But we also have the GX Materia Son Goku 3. So it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do for Goku there, because obviously we've gotten a couple of Gokus. We have the Super Saiyan one, we have the Kid one, or Super Saiyan, sorry. We have the base form one, I meant to say Kaioken as the alternate one, and then we have the Kid Goku as well for GX Materia. So it's going to be interesting to see what they pick for this one. I don't think we actually have a Super Saiyan Goku for GX Materia, so that would honestly not be that bad of a choice. And then we have the BOS Special XIII. That would be 13, I believe. So that is pretty cool. Obviously, this one also too may also be Gohan Beast, so that would be pretty cool if that is the case. But as you can see here, in May, we also have double Solid Edgeworks figures, which is really cool. They don't actually say what it is. So this will be really interesting to see if it's something like Vegeta, where it's basically like, you know, just a different version of the same figure, or if it is something completely new. But that will be exciting to look forward to as well. So I am very happy that we actually have like official confirmation. It's on the calendar for Gohan Beast. I will say it is a bit insane to me that obviously we're going to get pictures of these guys soon-ish, right? We'll obviously get them well before next year. But it's crazy to me that, like, the first couple of prize figures for Gohan Beast are going to be almost a year after the movie has been released. What are they thinking, bro? Hydrate or dihydrate, baby. Yeah, I don't know. Very strange marketing decisions from Bandai, for sure. But we do have some images of the upcoming GX Materia Vegito, Buu, and Frieza from History Box, as well as a prototype of Piccolo. These look really, really good, if I do say so myself. Vegito, they definitely nailed his expression. I feel like we'll actually get a close-up of that later. These look really good. Look at Kid Buu, bro. He looks great. I do wish that his head was still cocked down a little bit and he had a little bit more of that crazed expression, but I still think that figure looks really nice. This is the History Box Frieza. He's kind of to be honest with you. From the beginning, when I saw this figure, he was a little bit wonky to me. And keep in mind, he's very small because the History Box line is a very small figure line. And as well, we got Piccolo too. We've seen this guy a bunch of times, but obviously it's nice to see him again. And it's nice to see that they're doing a good job with him. Here's another look at Kid Buu. This is from another angle. I will say, the more I look at this figure, the more and more I actually really like this one, to be honest with you. I think he looks really nice. Again, I just wish he was looking down, because that's what he was looking at in this scene. But still, very, very cool figure. I also wish his arm was kind of a little bit more cocked, because he feels like static a little bit, you know? But I still definitely like him. And I've wanted a Kid Buu figure in my collection for a while now, because I have basically no Buu figures. So definitely going to be trying to cop the boy there. This was also just case ratios for the Vegeta. Interestingly, there's only going to be 16 for the base one and 24 for the Maj Vegeta. This is basically like what stores will get essentially in Japan. Kind of interesting on that one. Also, too, I don't know why it doesn't let me translate the tweet, but Google Translate goes crazy, obviously being released mid-April. And here was the close-up of Vegito with more of the key sword. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Again, I think they absolutely nailed his expression here. That cocky smirk that Vegito is known for looks really great. I definitely like the color of the hair here as well. I think the gi sword looks really nice too. Obviously, you can see there's a bunch of detail on his gi as well. All those little scratches and whatnot. Very, very nice. Definitely going to be looking forward to get this guy for sure. Here's some more pictures of Kid Buu. This is from the Banpresto Expo 2022 Taipei, I believe is how you pronounce that. Very, very nice look for Kid Buu. The pink is very nice on him. I think they did a good job with the coloring for sure. Here is your boy Piccolo. I believe this one may actually be the final one. I don't think that this one is a prototype. Obviously, keep in mind, since this is literally just on a stick, you know, it's not that it's not lining up with his fingers. It's just they're not putting it in the right position. But Piccolo looks really, really good here for sure. Definitely very excited to get my hands on this figure, especially since Piccolo is like one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters, like top 3, top 5 easy. And I do not have that many figures of him. Do I have one? I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. But I'm very excited to get this guy nonetheless. And then, of course, we got the GOAT himself, Vegito. Very, very nice. Really, really like the look of this guy. They definitely did a good job with him. I think the key sword is also a good length, right? Like, I was kind of wondering how long that they would make it, because for like the SH Figure Arts Vegito Blue, his is like way too long, especially for an SH Figure Arts figure. And sometimes I've seen the new Vegito figures where they make it too short. So I think this is a good in-between where it's pretty long. Maybe it could even be a little bit longer. But obviously you want it to be able to fit on the shelf. And then, of course, the other big thing with this is you don't want it to like topple over the figure with the weight. I'm assuming it's going to be hollow, right? Because obviously that would help with the weight of the figure. If it's not, I will be genuinely surprised. But This guy already looks like he's leaning a little bit with the weight of this thing on him, unless it's just the angle here, right? It kind of looks like he's tilting on the stand a little bit, which thankfully he's not standing upright and he's leaning. Having it on the stand is a little bit more excusable because that's just, you know, the stand. So, and is he not pointing down at Boo with this scene, or is he pointing up? I don't remember actually. But nonetheless, though, he looks very, very good. I'm definitely excited to get my hands on this guy for sure. Alright, so here are the foot base confirmations for all these figures. Vegeta and Gotenks will have the little foot base that you like stick on their foot that's like that little plastic cube basically, little PVC cube. And Android 16 will have a regular base. Kind of unfortunate, but also unsurprising considering like look how much real estate he takes up on the ground. So obviously he's going to need a bigger base to be able to stand up, right? Yeah, this is kind of interesting though. Back in the base, or back in the day rather, they had the actual production images have the base there, so we didn't really have to wait for info on that, but now we do. But yeah, Vegeta, obviously foot base, Gotenks foot base, and 16, going to be interesting to see how much real estate that takes up, like if it overextends him a lot. We'll have to see on that one. Okay, so funny enough, talking about the Gigantic series and Gohan Beast earlier, we have the Gigantic series Bulma, which as you can see, it is the Bulma from Dragon Ball, which is really, really cool. Obviously, these are supposed to be more like quote-unquote high-end figures, so that's why they're pretty expensive. Again, that's like 180 bucks right there. I think that's maybe more like 150 right now, 130, something like that. Again, just guesstimating off the top of the dome. But this figure does look really good. I think they definitely got Bulma's look. It does have that very interesting Gigantic series shading where it almost kind of feels like a, not like a porcelain figure, but like, I don't know how to really describe it. It has all these like light shading elements to it that's present in a lot of Gigantic series figures. We do have some more info about this one. X Plus finally announced their Gigantic series Bulma figure, and the Big Bad Toy Store has pre-orders costed $269 with a $27 deposit and will ship out March 2023. This is the last Gigantic series figure listed on the Jump Calendar website, so hopefully they'll be listing some figures to release next year and beyond. We already know about Gohan Beast. This is probably my favorite figure for the series since they are so big, make a big impact, and don't require posing, which is great for me because I like to just leave it and forget it. So yeah, as you can see, they have it on Big Bad Toy Store for pre-order if you would like to. Big Bad Toy Store, wow, it's already sold out for pre-order. Well, okay. Big Bad Toy Store does, I feel like, kind of overpriced the Gigantic series a little bit because obviously in yen it's a lot cheaper than $269.99. But I mean, it is a place to get it where you don't have to actually import it. This is the picture I was looking for, by the way. This should give you a good idea of the Gigantic series' size. This is compared to a dude. And again, keep in mind, the Gohan Beast figure, one of the two that is coming up that we saw officially confirmed on the calendar, is going to be from this line. So this is like ish about the size. He may be a little bit bigger. I probably would assume with that hair. But yeah, this gives you a good idea of the size of this figure line. Always so crazy to me. I've always wanted to buy one of these. The only one that I've ever considered getting was the UI Omen one because I always thought that one was so sick. But yeah, that is the Gigantic series Bulma that's going to be coming out in March. This is a little bit of interesting information on your boy Gohan. So we've been taking a look at these figures for a little bit. This was some in-person pictures of the Gohan, the Super Saiyan Gohan. And, yeah, this is pretty cool from the comment that I'm actually seeing here. Keep in mind, this is a figure that was made in Vietnam. You can see that there's still some stuff wrong with this, right? Like the paint is kind of gloopy, right? That may actually be a mark on Gohan's face right there. But overall, the quality control is definitely a lot better than they were handling it in Vietnam originally. It is interesting to see this like shading bit. This almost kind of looks like the figure's been sitting out in the sun with this weird like white shading on his arms and knee there, but that's just on the figure. And the interesting thing to note, that Baggy noted about this, is the Retsuden Gohan Finals did have the shading that the product images implied, which was this little bit of shading we just talked about here. However, this probably means that the base versions of Goku and Gohan won't have shading going off the production images. Yeah. So obviously, these guys, as you can see, right, don't have those same shading elements as this. I'm assuming their idea for that was trying to emulate Super Saiyan, right? Like it was supposed to maybe be the aura sort of like reflecting off of them. Like even the darker blues on the Super Saiyan figures look lighter than the, you know, blues on the base form ones. So I'm assuming that that's what they were going for, but it is still an interesting choice nonetheless. Like I've been saying the last couple of videos, I think personally I'm going to get the Super Saiyan Goku and the base form Gohan, because those are definitely the two versions of these figures that I like the best, and it would be cool to display them on the shelf. And obviously Goku went Super Saiyan before Gohan, so cool stuff there. Ah, yes! Very exciting stuff here. Here is the finals for the Clear Eyes Gohan. I know a lot of people were really, really looking forward to this. And ladies and gentlemen, he looks good! Let's go! You can see I already commented on this tweet here. Wow, my man definitely looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. I am absolutely ecstatic to be able to get this figure. I feel like Clear Eyes has definitely stepped up their game over their releases. They've definitely gotten a lot better over time here. My man definitely looks good. I think the only thing that I could even say that would maybe be a little bit weird is just the little line for his mouth is a little bit weird. I feel like it could have just been sculpted in there and not actually penciled in. But nonetheless, this is a good looking figure, ladies and gentlemen. Very excited to get my hands on this guy for sure. He is so cool looking. This is definitely a look for Gohan that we basically never get. So I am really excited to get this figure in myself. As well, we also have a Bardock in here. By the way, if you're curious why this looks like he's encased in a like a fish tank, at the Bam Presto lab in Japan, they show off new upcoming prize figures, and they put them in these little like bubbles that are attached to the wall. They're just like these little glass cases, so that's why it's like that if you're curious, and obviously that's what this these images were taken with here. We also do have the BOS Bardock. To be honest, this guy looks a lot better than I originally remember. I feel like I remember seeing some images of this guy, not really liking him. Also, his back was arcing, I feel like, a lot more on the original images, but I feel like this looks so much better. I've been looking for a good Super Saiyan Bardock figure, because the only one that was out was the Retsuden one, and that one's kind of eh. So I think I may actually pick this guy up, because I'm a huge fan of Bardock. So definitely looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. I like this almost like more... I don't know, it's not exactly a Dragon Ball, like, it's obviously a Dragon Ball looking sculpt, but I feel like the art style is a little bit different. But it's not bad, it's not like anime accurate, but it feels like an artist rendition of Bardock, which I think is cool. So definitely going to see if I can't cop that. And of course, we have the Cupid Socket Videl with the different colored versions of her. Alright. This was also something that I'm sure some of you remembered us talking about from the last video. The upcoming Limit Breaker and Dragon Stars production images. It'll be a while until we see the Gohan Beast and the Piccolo vs. Gamma 2 Battle Pack. So this is the Limit Breaker one, which means that this is going to be a giant figure. I actually own one of these. I have the Golden Frieza. I think it's personally the best looking Limit Breaker figure that they've made. But this is the Ultimate Gohan, and he is going to be pretty big. As well, we also have then the Dragon Stars Gamma 1. And I gotta say, to be honest with you, I am pretty impressed with the sculpt work here. Obviously, the paint job is nothing to write home about. It's super simple because, again, this is an action figure, not meant to be like a high-quality collectible, you know, big air quotes. But this looks pretty good, and especially considering how expensive and exclusive the SH Figuarts Gamma 1 and 2 were and are, right, and will be when they reach the secondhand market when they eventually, excuse me, release. This may not be such a bad idea if you're looking for a posable Gamma 1. Again, Gamma 2 will be releasing with the Piccolo, so you're going to have to wait a little bit for him. But nonetheless, he looks good. Here is also a regular Piccolo here. And then the double pack of the Goku and Frieza that we actually saw the art for a couple videos ago. Frieza's face looks really weird there. Goku's hair looks so pointy. I said Gohan because it reminds me of Gohan Beast. I do like these effect pieces, though. Those are pretty neat. But yeah, definitely not too bad on Gamma 1. Call me impressed, to be honest with you. I'd be curious to see these guys in person, and especially next to the SH Figuarts versions. Okay, so this was kind of an interesting thing. Is the next tweet? Yeah, okay. So, just wanted to make sure on that one. This was kind of an interesting thing. April Ginyu Force ratios, right? So, for Goku 2, Ginyu 2, Raccoon 1, Birder 1, Jace 1, Guldo 1, right? He is F. Yes, okay. And then G will be 1, H is 15, I is 24, and then 32 is J. Interestingly enough, G is a container box. So instead of including it like a figure with the old high grade, it's a separate prize, which is going to be interesting. If you guys remember, the Ginyu Force at one point in the anime had this little container on Namek. So I guess they're making it a prize, which is going to be interesting to see what that actually looks like in practice. And apparently, it's going to be 20 centimeters, so it should actually have some IRL practicality. That will be quite interesting. I think there was like a Dragon Ball product that we saw a while ago that was like sort of a container type of thing, and it had like the Red Ribbon logo on it and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what becomes of that, since it's actually like, you know, a regular size. As well, this one was kind of a little bit unfortunate, but I had to take a drink of water real quick. No Ginyu Force Ichiban show confirmed for Europe. I mean, at this point, I'm sure that you guys kind of know the drill. These are so expensive if you're going to buy them for the overseas versions anyway, that it's almost just better to import them. I mean, not almost, it is. So, I mean, kind of unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is at that point. Okay. So, this was very unfortunate. I'm sure that you guys remember we have been talking about for a couple of videos now the upcoming prize fair, which was going to give us our first look at our glorious Gohan Beast figure coming up. Unfortunately, they photo banned everything except for April, which we already had. Very unfortunate. As you can see, this looks so weird because they're censoring out the other figures in the background. That's why the little cropping on this looks so weird. But these are the IRL pictures of these figures. As you can see, Gotenks looks surprisingly better than I thought, actually. I really, really like his expression. That's definitely not too bad, to be honest with you. Keep in mind, these are prototypes. But still, Android 16 looks good. This should give you an idea, by the way, of like a little bit of how much his base will take up. I think he might not go over the edge there. He'll probably be on the actual base, but this looks pretty good. And obviously we have Vegeta and Vegeta. I don't think these colors are necessarily accurate with how tan Vegeta looks here. I think this is just the lighting of where this picture was taken. But very unfortunate that this is the case. Very, very unfortunate. As you can see, Baggy does comment here. May prize figure production images can drop any day now, except unlikely on the weekends. But for the SHF Tamashii Nations event, V-Jump potentially too. Yeah, when we get V-Jump scans, by the way, because we did get V-Jump. Normally, like for V-Jump, it isn't super relevant to the figure stuff because they usually just show stuff that we've already seen. But we do have a funny enough Gohan Beast on the cover of the next upcoming V-Jump. And so maybe they'll show the SHF one in there. We'll have to see. But obviously we talked about the event being on the 18th, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer for the first official Gohan Beast figure. Very unfortunate that this was all we got from the prize fair. I know everybody was looking forward to this, and for, you know, the last couple of years it's basically been like the best source of upcoming figure stuff, so kind of unfortunate, honestly. I'm very sad that this is the case. It's kind of sad to see how far we've fallen from grace, especially since, as you can see here, for a little bit more context, the November 2016 prize fair, they were keen to show off the first Vegito Blue figure that was due in June 2017. They didn't photo ban it, even though it was a black and white prototype. Meanwhile, in November 2022 prize fair, they photo banned the first Gohan Beast figure that is due in May 2023. So kind of unfortunate, not even kind of unfortunate, really unfortunate, to be honest with you. Again, this is the type of thing that, you know, you would have loved to see, because obviously this is sort of how they did it back in the day. It is what it is, though. Obviously, we'll get to see it eventually. It's just unfortunate that they didn't show it off officially, right? This was also something interesting to note, too. Obviously, in the background here, this is Android 16, but what is this blue and red thing right here? I don't know if this is something Dragon Ball related. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, we'll have to go on the calendar, and as it was disclosed, it kind of seems like it's nothing that, you know, like matches what these are, right? Everything that we talked about here, unless this isn't a Dragon Ball figure here. I'm not sure. Funny enough, it kind of looks like, it kind of reminds me of Uta from One Piece Film Red, which I don't think it is. But that it would be kind of funny if it was, because just the color scheme sort of reminds me of that. Or Joy-Cons, actually. The Joy-Cons also are like basically that color exactly. But that would be interesting to see what that actually ends up being. I'm sure we'll get a tweet about that from Baggy later on too. Okay, so a couple more information pieces about upcoming production images here. The June production images will depend on how fast we get May's. If we get May's next week, we could be looking at about a month-ish for June, but ultimately it is hard to say. All this wouldn't have been a problem if they didn't photo ban. Yeah. So, May's, obviously, again, keep in mind, right, that was the DXF Gohan Beast and the Matchmakers Goku, and Frieza, and then all the solid edgework stuff, and the GX Materia Goku, and the BOS one. Everything else that we talked about, I believe, right? Oh, and the Gohan Beast gigantic figure, too. These guys in June, obviously, that will still be a little while there. So just keep that in mind as we're going forward. Again, like I've been saying, whenever we get the first Gohan Beast figure, whenever we get any Gohan Beast figure, I'll make a separate video about it, as I kind of have been for the channel, because, you know, I mean, bro, it's Gohan Beast. As well, a little bit more information here. What to look forward to this week. Obviously, again, we talked about that. Tamashii Nations event in Japan on the 18th will show off SHF Gohan Beast. Hopefully this one will be photo banned. I don't think it will be. I think Baggy's just coping. Because obviously, they teased it at the Comic-Con, you know, little panel that they had for Orange Piccolo. So I don't think that it'll be photo banned. May production images could also drop any weekday, but there's no guarantee for that, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't tell you how many tweets Baggy made this week of like, all right, production images should be today, production images should be today, production images should be today. I'm not going to include them all because obviously, you know, it's just information that's summarized in this tweet, basically. But, yeah, basically we're just waiting now. So we'll have to see when all of those end up happening. All right, now we have a bit of a little section here, a little Super Dragon Ball Heroes section here. As you probably have been hearing from the community, and as well, obviously we talked about a little bit in this video, the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Ichiban Kuji for the 4th mission has been released in Japan, and the official Ichiban Kuji has actually been tweeting out a bunch of images of all of the figures. We also have a little promo video here, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to play it because I'll play little snippets from it, but I don't know if I can play like the whole thing and then, you know, get copyright claimed. But here we have Super Saiyan 3 Rose. Looks very, very nice, if I do say so myself. I like these cool, like, effect shots, too. They are very, very nice, for sure. We have Goku here with the Limit Breaker hair. We have Vegeta as well. I actually have pre-ordered, well, not pre-ordered, I've ordered this guy, actually, off of a Japanese auction site. So I will actually be getting to review that figure, so keep an eye out for that. I'm pretty excited about that because I really like the Limit Breaker form, and obviously any more figures of, you know, the Xeno characters is always welcome. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual pictures of these guys. Here is the Super Saiyan 3 Rose figure. Obviously, this is basically just a retooling of last year's Master Rose, but I mean, it's Super Saiyan 3 Rose, bro. Like, come on. This figure is super sick. I am definitely very, very excited to eventually get my hands on this guy for sure. He looks really, really good. I think they did a good job with him. Again, the body was basically already made, but I think they did a good job with the hair too. It's definitely very nice looking Super Saiyan 3 hair. I like the way that it still goes down, but also kind of flows up a little bit. Definitely pretty cool. They did a very good job on the mask as well. I think the mask is definitely very, very nicely detailed. The face is a little bit different because obviously he doesn't have the eyebrow. And I can tell just by looking at this because I look at mine every day on the shelf, right? The face is definitely a little bit different sculpted, so that is pretty cool there for sure. Definitely excited for this guy. We have the Warrior in Black, which is pretty cool here. Definitely excited to get this guy as well. Obviously, this is a very nice looking figure. It is interesting that they didn't give him the bandana, because obviously we know now that this is Bardock. Because you can see right there, right? It's very hard to see because unfortunately the angle is terrible, but If we zoom in, you can see right there, he's got the little scar right there, right? So he obviously has a scar on his face, just like Bardock does. I mean, in the manga too, and like the anime. By this point, we know that this is Bardock. So it's interesting to me that they didn't include that. I mean, it also makes sense because I think at some point he doesn't have it yet, because I think it's like tied to his arm or something like that. But nonetheless, this guy definitely looks good, and obviously this is just a very unique figure and a very unique look for this character, right? Obviously, this is an outfit that you will literally never get anywhere else. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Obviously, this guy is also like one of the only, if not the only, I think maybe like originally sculpted figure. We have the, did I miss one? No, okay, just wanted to make sure. We have the Xeno Goku, obviously this guy being the Limit Breaker version. Personally, I definitely prefer the face on the one from the third mission from last year. I think his face just looks way too goofy here. His mouth is like way too open and his mouth looks very strangely sculpted. I definitely like the more pinker look though, because I feel like even though it looks good, on the Limit Breaker figures from last year, it was a little bit more red for the fur, and it is very obviously pink here, which I definitely like and I think is a little bit more accurate to how it looks. I mean, they kind of go back and forth between red and pink, but nonetheless, it still looks good, and I love the work on the hair in terms of the paint job, how it kind of comes to these like red edges. It's almost like frosted tips, but it's red. I think it looks pretty good. And obviously, this figure, the rest of it is basically just reused from other figures, so that's why the rest of the body sculpt doesn't look too bad. Vegeta, as you can see, also looks pretty good. Again, like I said, I did pre-order, I keep saying pre-order. I did order this guy. I actually just won a bid for him last night, so I'm excited to get this guy in and do a video on him. He looks very good. Again, he is basically reused from a couple of the Vegeta figures, but the Xeno Vegeta design for Super Saiyan 4 is so simple because like everything that makes this design so cool is kind of stripped away when he goes Super Saiyan 4, even though the Super Saiyan 4 aspect of it is sick. His more unique Saiyan armor is basically just ripped off. He basically just has black pants, but I mean, personally speaking, I think it's way better than the jeans that he wears for normal Super Saiyan 4, so I'm not going to complain. But yeah, very excited to get this guy as well. Then we have the Gogeta, as you can see here. This is, of course, the Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And this one is actually just regular Xeno Super Saiyan 4. Or wait, is it regular? Wait, no. This one is, there we go. This one is the regular Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and then this one is the Limit Breaker one. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right because of the fur color, yeah. Interesting that his hair isn't as much of that, like, frosted tip look. They do kind of have it, like, it gets a little bit darker towards the roots of his hair, but you can see a little bit better here, but it's not, like, as crazy as the regular Super Saiyan 4s, which I definitely would have preferred. I'm sure this is probably going to be the figure that people are the most least excited for, because not only are there already existing Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta figures already, there's just plenty of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta figures already, and this is literally just the same figure as another one that they did before. They just repainted it. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I also don't think his face looks incredibly that good. I think it kind of has the same dealio as Goku, where the mouth just looks way too big for no good reason. Like, it just looks quite strange, I guess. I don't know. Especially his teeth there just look way too flat. Like, I know that they are not making gaps in the teeth or anything like that, but it just looks weird to me personally. I think this one is the last prize one. Let's translate this real quick. Now until Ichiban Kuji's prize E. Okay, so the regular one is that, and then excuse me, the last one figure is the Limit Breaker version of Gogeta. That is what the last one prize is for this Ichiban Kuji. Yeah, interesting that they have Goku and Vegeta as Limit Breaker, but then they put regular Gogeta as the main prize, and the last one version be Limit Breaker for Gogeta. Very interesting. So this is something else that I did want to note. Obviously, if you are going to be buying these figures, keep in mind that these are very heavily reused from last year. I've been talking about this a little bit as we've been looking through these, but I mean, Xeno Gogeta is literally just the same one from this Ichiban Kuji. Didn't bother to hide it. Didn't bother to hide it. Like I said, this is the third mission Goku, right? I think this figure looks so much better than this one, especially in terms of the face sculpt. mainly, right? This is also reused, funny enough, from the greatest Saiyan Goku, which, funny enough, this Vegeta is the greatest Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and this Vegeta is literally just reused from this one. That's why the face looks so similar. Even though I think they did obviously like flip the head, because you can see that the eye's a little bit different, but that's why this sculpt may look so familiar to some. I actually have this guy, so I will be comparing him, or I'm sorry, I have this guy, so when I get this guy, I will be comparing him. And of course, you know, Rose is just reused from that, but yeah, basically the same body sculpt. So just keep that in mind if you are deciding to purchase these figures. I know it may be an L for some, but I am getting these because I love Dragon Ball Heroes, but I am importing them from Japan, so I'm not supporting Bandai directly, at least with copping these bad boys. I'm just buying them from somebody who's already purchased it, so, you know. This is the card that comes with the figures. I believe the way that this works is, let's Google Translate this real quick. Yeah, so the first 20 people, first come, first serve. So basically the first 20 people that play the Ichiban KUJI will be able to receive this Super Saiyan Rose. That would actually be, I guess, Crimson Masked Saiyan, right? Super Saiyan 3 card. I actually am getting this guy too. Funny enough, I won an auction for this card too, so I'll be able to show you this when we get the figures for it too. Here are the small prizes for this Ichiban KUJI. Here are the towels, up close and personal. I do think that, unfortunately for this one, the art for the big towels isn't really that crazy good. It kind of looks like they had the stinky promo artist on this one. Really, the Warrior in Black, I think, is probably the best looking one. But these are just ripped from some very nice looking Dragon Ball Heroes cards here, so that's why these all look very nice. It's interesting to me that they didn't do this pose for Gogeta, because I feel like people would have been a lot more interested in the figure if that was the case, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Is that not... No, he has his hands at his waist. Yeah, this would have been way better to make this as the figure rather than being lazy and reusing that. But obviously, this is the Vegeta they based the pose on, you know, for the figure. This was the actual card art. And then we have Eros, because of course she's new. And this art of Goku and Vegeta, that is like the 12th anniversary promo art. We also have the clear files here, which is pretty cool. These are definitely very interesting because they use... Okay, we can zoom in more. Okay. They use the card art for some of these, right? Like, some of these are just Dragon Ball Heroes card arts, which actually I think they all may be, now that I say this. But it's interesting to me that some of them, they use, like, the more rare cards, like the Gogeta, you know, the Vegeta, the Eros there, right? The Limit Breaker, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Why did they not do this pose? That's literally what they have on the small prize and the Limit Breaker version. Man, we got robbed. Oh, okay, so this Goku is based off of this card. That makes sense for that figure. Warrior in Black, Super Saiyan 3 Rose, obviously. But these are more common SDBH cards, which is interesting to me that they decided to make clear files of these. Also, some of these are just like regular Dragon Ball characters, too. I mean, these characters are all relevant right now, I guess, to what's happening in Ultra God Mission. So that's probably why they picked them, because they're all, like, relevant to the story. So that does make sense why their characters were chosen. But it's interesting that they just used, like, some of the more common cards for their arts for the clear files. And then we also have these little plates that are the small prizes. The only reason why I even bothered talking about these, I mean, obviously just for, you know, including everything in here. What do these have to do with SDVH? You could have thrown these in any Dragon Ball KUJI and it would have just fit in there. I'm just surprised that they didn't do, like, something more related to, I don't know, to SDBH. Like, even just the SDBH logo on one of these. I don't know. Kind of strange, to be honest with you. And that actually is everything today. Let's refresh Baggy's Twitter just to make sure that we aren't missing anything. Nope, Gohan Beast is the last thing there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you thought of all of the news that we covered today. Let me know if you're going to be copping any of these figures. Obviously, right now, I am on the prowl for a bunch of these SDBH figures. I'm also trying to cop this Goku right now, but he is very expensive on the secondhand market, unfortunately. I'm definitely excited, obviously, for all of the Gohan stuff that we have coming up, right? It's nice that we have the official confirmation of some Gohan Beast figures. Hopefully, we get to see them soon. But, obviously, if the prize figures don't drop this week in terms of the production images, look forward to this weekend where we will be seeing the SHF Gohan Beast. Again, I will be making videos when all of that stuff drops because obviously I'm excited out of my mind for him right now. So definitely let me know what you thought of everything that we took a look at in this video today, and without further ado, I will catch you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.